Roy, good evening.
Good evening, Stephen.
As a member of the CIPD Ayrshire Group planning team, with the agreement of the team, you organised tonight's event on the integration of health and social care in North Ayrshire. Thank you for doing that. Roy, why did you want to include this event in the calendar?
Well, at the planning stage last year, what I wanted to do was make sure that we did something that would be very much appealing to our membership. I wanted to make sure that the regular members would come along. Perhaps we could attract even more from people who were less frequent attenders at our meetings. I also wanted something that reflected the economic demography of Ayrshire. Ayrshire is becoming much more public service orientated, and hence the focus on things like healthcare and public service. So with what was happening in England at the time with the new integrated partnerships, I thought, great, there's some nice HR issues there, and wouldn't it be nice to talk about those as the integrated partnership started off in Scotland. And hence I did a bit of networking, met up with Callan Webster, and he agreed to come along. And I think for everyone who comes along tonight, they will be well rewarded for taking the time and effort to be here.
Good evening, Charlotte. Thank you for coming along to tonight's event. I hope you enjoyed the talk.
I did, yeah.
What have you heard this evening that inspires you?
I think it's really interesting to see how they are implementing public policy and everything that encompasses, and how that affects practitioners, HR practitioners and OD practitioners, and how they'll work with that, and some of the enthusiasm that's coming from North Ayrshire Care Partnership as well, in terms of embracing that change as well.
Is there anything you've heard or seen tonight that surprised you, Charlotte?
I think some of the positivity that came across from the speaker about the team of people that he was working with and how committed they are during a period of change, which can always be quite difficult, and those different professions working together and working really strongly together, and that really came across from Callum this evening as well.
How does this evening's session resonate with your own experience?
Well, my own role is as a change manager, so I'm always interested to see how things are going for other people, how they're doing it, what their ideas are, and in the wider organisational development as well. So I'm taking lots of things back. My head's buzzing, taking lots of things back this evening after tonight, yeah.
Paul, thank you for coming along to tonight's event. What have you heard this evening that inspires you?
Yeah, well, I think one of the key points that Callum had said that I was taken by was that people will have the freedom to do things that they've maybe always wanted to do. So the people that are delivering services to patients, service users and clients, they maybe felt a wee bit bound up with the organisations and the sort of structures and having to work within that. And then I think there is a lot of opportunities to work together, for the benefit of patients. I think that's the key point for me.
Okay. Is there anything you heard or saw tonight that surprised you?
Well, I didn't know that the partnership was already up and running in North Ayrshire, so that's surprising, because I had in my mind that things weren't going to change really till next April. So it's interesting that there's already a front runner, because in Renfrewshire where I work, we are preparing to get things up and moving in April next year, so that was a new thing.
Okay, thank you. And one final question, if I may. How does this evening session resonate with your own experience?
Well, I thought it was really reassuring in a sense, because a lot of the things that Callum was talking about is our experience when we are working with integrated teams in Renfrewshire, and I've also done work in Inverclyde in the community health partnership there. And these are the kind of things that we've been discussing for a couple of years probably in the build up to integration. It's the kind of questions that staff ask, it's the discussions we have with colleagues. So it's great that other people are involved in the same sort of things, and it's reassuring that we're not doing this on our own and our problems are unique, they're shared, and that's probably the experience across Scotland.
George, thanks very much for coming down to Ayrshire for our event tonight. Very good of you.
You're welcome.
Right, as CIPD West of Scotland branch chair, what do you see as the key benefits for members attending these branch events?
I think the benefits for members, and it's clearly been seen here tonight, is the fact that there's so much networking, there's a lot of energy in the room, people are learning about issues that affect their local area and maybe some national policy as well. And I think as well for members it's about CPD, which we talk about quite a lot, continuing professional development. It's an opportunity for members to maybe put something in the tool bag and maybe actually upgrade to a higher level of membership and meet even more people. And it's about credibility as well. Going back to your workplace and say you've been speaking to the managing director of a company or you've been speaking to an HR officer in a certain type of organisation. So there's a whole raft of benefits. And at the end of the day, what better thing to do on a night like tonight than come and meet fellow professionals rather than sit and watch some TV programme. You're among professionals, you're among friends, and it's a professional network we should all be proud of.
So thank you for that, and we'll keep promoting the branch events. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.